today his big meeting with a bunch of people in the iron ore industry in Australia, of course, make most of their money by exporting to China. Good on them. But most of them were spruiking this green steel fantasy and talking about green hydrogen, the stuff that is already falling over. Up to a dozen projects in Australia have already fallen over, yet Albo's going along with them, spruiking so-called green hydrogen, making green steel. It's just not going to happen. It's falling by the wayside everywhere. I noticed Hancock Prospecting was the one company who just talked about steel and iron ore and seemed to stay away from that green dream.
Well, it's no more fanciful than this idea that the Prime Minister keeps telling us that he's stabilised the relationship with China, while his good friend Xi Jinping monsters Taiwan, postures and plans to invade the place, and sends 3 warships around Australia conducting live firing exercises. So this is not a relationship based in reality with Mr Albanese.
Yeah,
I think it's really interesting.
Sorry, I was just going to go. This is a difficult issue when it comes to Taiwan, and most Australian foreign ministers and leaders have always prized this strategic ambiguity. In fact, most American leaders have, of course, as well. Do you accept that it seems to be a deliberate strategy by America to raise this issue now and make it awkward for Anthony Albanese and China?
I think the timing is deliberate, but I think there's something bigger behind it than just timing. I think there's growing concern and doubt about Australia as an ally and as a partner in collective deterrence of China in Washington. And that doubt will be growing in other partner capitals too, like Seoul and Tokyo, because while the Prime Minister talks about investing in relationships, the only relationship he's investing his personal time in is China. He's spending 6 days there, not even having a one-day stopover in South Korea or Japan, 2 key strategic and economic partners, let alone a tour of the US.
Yeah, it is extraordinary. And just on that, though, if we're to get American-made submarines in the first place, nuclear submarines, American technology, the first country other than Britain to get access to them, surely it would be an expectation of the US that those submarines would be useful in a conflict with China.
Well, Chris, you're right. We've got to remember, what's the purpose of AUKUS? It's not actually about submarines. It's about shifting the military balance in our part of the world away from an increasingly aggressive China in favour of democratic powers. And AUKUS is just a means of doing that.
Yep.
So if Mr Albanese doesn't look signed up to deterring China from war, then AUKUS is meaningless. That's what Washington will be thinking.
Yeah, and he's given them no reason to think otherwise. Thanks so much for joining us, Michael. Michael Shoebridge there from Strategic Analysis Australia.